What's up, everyone? I'm Ayisha Nicole, and we are back for the return of Style Chats. This is now season 4, and for those of you who are new here, this is my opportunity to share the stories of different stylists, designers, influencers, entrepreneurs, and we get into all things style and business. I am here with Brennen Johnson today, one of my favorite people ever. How you feeling?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm great.
Thank you so
I'm
much for
great.
having me. I appreciate you.
Everything that you do it with excellence. And I don't want to completely tell your story because I'm going to let you do that.
Okay.
But to be a serial entrepreneur, an investor, a creative director, a stylist, an event curator, a speaker.
Okay.
Come on. The anointing is all over you. And so I'm
that.
just blessed for you to be the first guest on this couch.
Well, I'm humbled to be a part. Thank you for even reaching out to me to like I told you before, when I first saw you, it was just it was a thing. Like we had we meshed so well. So thank you for having me a part of your show. And I think you said season 4, right?
Season 4. I kicked this off in 2022 as an IG live series. So this is the very first time, the very first season that this is actually live in person. So it's even more of a blessing for you to be the first guest.
First one. So yes, thank you.
Yes. Okay, so I just want you to go ahead and just share a little bit about your story, who you are, as compact as you can make it.
Compact as I can make it.
Yes.
Okay, so 2017, 2018, I started a candle line called Inspiring Monday. And basically it was just a home remedy for my grandmother where I would put her home remedies in candles. And so I made 10 candles and I shared it with one of my friends at a 50-cent jelly jar. So the jelly jars was like 50 cents. So at the time, making candles was real cheap at that time. And so I made 10. And so I gave them to a friend of mine, and she was just like, I was like, Bernice, let me know what you think, blah, blah, blah. And she was just like, okay, I will. So she called me back like 3 days later, and she was like, you got 10 more of those candles? And I'm like, yeah, I do. And she was just like, okay, make me 10 more. So I made her 10 more. So she called me back, and she was like, hey, we have been praying for some things. I tested them myself, and then I gave them to family members and friends, and they did the same thing, and they all got the same response. Can you mass produce these? And she wrote me a $10,000 to $15,000 check.
Just like that.
Just like that. And I made candles, and from that $10,000, she gave me more, and then I made $950,000. Not right at $1 million, but close to $1 million. $950,000.
Close to $1 million selling candles
Out of my garage.
Out of your garage.
I didn't even know I had made a $1 million profit until almost the end of it. Until I started going to sing for Kanye West.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's okay. So see, that's now telling me that I forgot something else. He's also a singer.
Yeah.
You got a little tune for us? No, I love that, but it really just shows too. Do you feel like you were prepared for that moment? When you started making candles, did you foresee it becoming $1 million business or $1 million brand as an entrepreneur?
No. So I just posted the other day that I was making candles out of having a therapeutic moment. I needed something to weigh out, like a release. And so when I started making candles, it reminded me of just like, when you make candles, it kind of gets you away. It's like a vacation away from home, but at home. And it was a therapeutic moment for me. So I didn't think about it being a profit. I didn't think about it being a business. I didn't have an LLC, none of that.
Wow.
So it was kind of like I was pushing it like y'all the drug dealers do. You kind of push it.
A little something here and there.
Out of the trunk here, let me pull up at the barbershop. That's how I was doing it. And so people were like, yo, y'all need to hear about hit Brennen up for some candles. Like these candles is just like, they're really powerful. And so that's how it turned into like a big brand. And so then from there, that's when I went to sing background for Kanye West in the Sunday Service Choir. Wow. And so right then everything stopped. So I stopped my candle business, and I went and I started to sing there, and I was there for 2 or 3 years. But within that time, I had, before I started a candle business, I had a branding and marketing firm. So basically, I would go and brand companies and upcoming artists and stuff like that. So that's what I had before I even had the Inspiring Monday. Now we're called the Candle Room, but Inspiring Monday.
Well, that's a lot to unpack, but The bottom line across everything, I feel like the common denominator is what's for you will always be for you. And it's like when you think about things that you didn't even perceive as a business, or it wasn't initially something like, oh yeah, I'm going to run up a bag off of this.
Yeah.
I just feel like God's presence is just truly evident. Like, okay, well, I wasn't expecting this, but you see how easily it made an impact.
Yeah.
Can you make 10 more? Can you make 10 more? It's like, okay, well, do I got something going on? Because you think about once you started to where you are now, I just even want to know, like, what does that feel like to you, being that you've started this brand, it opened up another door, and now you're doing a host of other things, including the All Is Well brand, which I want to touch on that too. Okay. Like, what is some of the greatest things that you have learned from that experience of you starting out to where you are today? Like, what do you really accredit that to?
What do I accredit it to, or how do I feel?
Both.
I accredited a lot of my success first, of course, to God. But if I had in the earth realm, success for me would have been my mother, my father, and my grandmother. My daddy was an entrepreneur, so he basically was a locksmith up until he retired at 80. He retired at 80, so which was crazy. He worked all the way up until he was 80 years old.
That's crazy.
It's so crazy. But from then, I would definitely say I've always been doing it. I think a lot of times we forget that we're always doing something because we start doing something else.
Right.
So I don't think that until we start doing something else, I don't think that it was much of a difference, other than I was much more in alignment. So God had already placed me into all of these things that I've already been doing.
Right.
It's just that now I'm more in alignment, and I'm more equipped, and I'm more aware. And I'm more in tune. You have to get in tune with the things that you're called to do too, to do them well. So, I think that's what it is. I'm more aligned. I'm more in tune. I'm more aware. I'm clear. I can hear. And I'm more connected. I'm more connected to the things that because a lot of times we get connected to people and they start to, they detour us from the original plan. So when you get aligned within yourself and you get aligned within what you're called to do, then the people and everything else, the opportunities, they're all aligned within that alignment.
You preaching a little bit too good for somebody who's soft-spoken over here.
Okay,
see, it's coming out. It's coming out.
You got
yes. I've been blown away ever since the day that I met you. I was like, wow, you're so gifted. And I speak very highly of you. It's like when Brennen speaks, you got to.
Yeah, listen.
Yes.
That's what they say.
Because I saw your post. You said, every word that comes out of my mouth has value. Me talking is expensive. But I like that you have that mindset. You place that in a lot of areas. And I think that is also a big reason why you're so successful, why you've made it to being so wealthy. But I know that there are a lot of entrepreneurs, right? Whether they have a clothing line, all different types of businesses where they kind of struggle getting over that hurdle of knowing that they have the gift, but not knowing how to monetize, right? So what advice would you give to someone who's struggling in that area, since you made it over the hurdle so early on in your start of your business?
I'm still getting over it. And I'm learning as I go, because I feel like I come from an entrepreneur, but I think my daddy didn't know he was a millionaire until he was 80 and he had all of this property. So I'm still figuring it out. To be, come from, because I saw my first million at 31. And to go from 31 to see 4 million and blow it all and have to start all over again.
You blew it all?
Yeah, you blow. So when I say blow it all, like I told y'all, when you at the event, the first thing that I did, my granny said, the first thing you do when you get a little piece of money is get you some teeth and buy you some land. And so I did both of those things. I got me some teeth and I bought land. But in that, you take care of a lot of people. You help a lot of people. You pay a lot of people's rent. You do a lot of things. When people find out you have a little bit of money, things start to happen for you. I mean, people start to connect. And then if you have a good heart like me, you start to just give it away.
Right.
So when I say blow it, I would let me better say I invested it. But you still, I mean, $1 million is really no money when you think about all of the bills and all of the things you have to pay that comes with it. Because to whom much is given, much is required.
Come on.
So, you know, you go through all of that and you really realize like $4 million, $1 million, 500,000, 30,000 is not a lot of money.
Yeah.
As an entrepreneur, I may see 60 grand for 3 months and then may not see another 60 grand to another, 4 months.
Yeah.
You just really never really know. So what I would say is manage well. I don't live by budget.
Right. I remember you saying that.
Yeah, I don't live by budget. And that's probably that's what made me feel like I blew it. Because in living by budget, I was listening to everybody else and they was just like, when you get some money, you budget it. But when you start to budget the money, you cap the dream.
Ooh. Can you say it one more time?
When you start to budget the money, you cap the dream.
Oh my God. Y'all getting this?
So
that's the word.
When you budget your money, you cap the dream. And so I was budgeting and I was holding on. When you budget, if you look at budget in the dictionary, it means limit. So I was trying to limit instead of stewarding it and managing it and saying, no, this is going to go for this. No, this is going to go for this. No, this is going to go for this. And so it still allowed me to dream within what God had given me. Yeah. Because we know if we speaking spiritual and we speaking about God, we know that there is no limit in God.
Absolutely.
And so when you put budget on God, then you put limit on what he has dreamed for you to do. Because if it's your dream, then you can afford it.
Right.
But if it's a God dream, you can never afford a God dream. So you could never really live by a budget if you are living by a God's dream.
Wow.
Now, if it's your dream, then of course, let's go by budget. Let's go by a structure and a strategy and a time sheet and let's go by all of the things, right? If you're going by a thing within who you are and what you want to do. But if it's a God dream, if it's a God idea, it's definitely out of your budget. So why even do it if it's it's definitely out of your budget. So why even do it if you're gonna stick to a budget? So yeah, that's what I would tell any entrepreneur. If it's if it's your idea and it's something that you're trying to get a quick hustle, make your money and get out. Because I've done that. I've done it with Airbnbs. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
Made my money and got out. I think I put like 15,000 in and I got back 30, 40,000 and I got out of it because I knew that wasn't something that I wanted to do, nor did God want me to do. I was doing it just to make quick money. So get in, get out if it's your idea. But if it's a God idea, it expands and it grows if it's a God idea. So you could never put a budget on a God idea. So I don't live by. So now that I fully am committed to God's idea concerning my life, I don't live by budget because there is no limit in God. I live by stewardship and management.
My goodness. I mean, you keep leaving me speechless because it's just like I'm soaking all of this in. I know the people got to be soaking it in because I'm soaking it all in for myself, but I just think it's so important to have that perspective released, I'll say. Because a lot of people don't think that way. They think based on what they're taught or according to societal standards. And it's like, okay, well, I have to do it this way because this is all that they know. This is all that they see. This is the only thing that's publicized. And so when I was just even thinking about, you saying that once you can't put a budget on God's dream or God's idea, it just really makes me think and hone in on how God can really shift someone's mindset or whatever, because when you allow God to shift your mindset, it allows you to step into greater spaces and places, right? Because if you are only doing everything according to what you thought, you're trying to do things out of your own strength, out of your own will, and it's like, it's only going to carry you so far. So that's even speaking to me because I realize so often that I tend to do that, trying to be the driver but the passenger at the same time.
Yeah.
And I know that if people, I don't know, just really shifted their language as well as their mindset, it would just really just open more doors.
And shift your language, shift your mindset, yes. Yeah. But also understand relationship. I don't know, I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for me. Growing up, I grew up Baptist. And so we were saying, you were too. So, like in growing up Baptist, my granny, they taught us all, you know,
Yeah.
to fear the Lord.
Yep.
Now, what she taught me outside of her religious, you know, rendition of what the gospel was for her, within saying that, it's just like we were taught that God is the master. We to fear the Lord, you know, this and that. But when I grew up and I understood that God needs a body,
My God.
and him needing a body, he want a relationship and not a slave.
One more time. Come on.
He wants a body. He wants a relationship and not a slave. When I discovered that he wanted a relationship and not a slave, I then changed my perspective of how to communicate to him.
Yeah.
So we have to understand the relationship before we understand the language. So when I understood the language, when I got in God for real, and when I found out that he didn't want a slave, he didn't want to be my master.
Right.
He wanted to be my answer. And he wanted me to have relationship with him. Everything changed. My money changed. My relationships changed. How I talk changed. How I entered and showed up in a room changed. All of that changed. But I think it's our mindset, because we were taught, you know, fear the Lord, you know, he's our master. He's not our master. That's the root days. So we come from in the root days. Yeah. You know, he's our master. We need to hearken into no, listen to God. He wants to be in partnership with you. He wants to consume a body.
Yeah.
And that's why he sent Jesus, right?
Yeah.
Because he needed a body. So I feel like before you get to the language and the mindset, you have to understand the relationship.
Yeah. And also just being a willing vessel.
Yeah.
So many people, they skip over that part and then wondering why things are not happening, or they feel like God's not moving, or they feel like they're not hearing God's voice. You weren't a willing vessel to begin with. Willing meaning, God, whatever your will is, the prayers, everything is you going about it the wrong way. And I think if people can stand on that and stand in that, that gives God free reign to do whatever he needs to do that is in alignment with his will.
But you can't give him free reign when you're afraid of him. Come on. You can't give him free reign when you're afraid of him. You don't give anybody free reign when you're afraid of them, because you're secure. Your block is up. Again, you got to understand the relationship. So yeah, I understood the relationship. Then I understood my assignment.
Wow.
And then from understanding my assignment, the money and the opportunities came.
Wow. And speaking of other opportunities,
okay,
I want to get into All Is Well.
Okay.
I know that you launched your candle business first. How do you feel like those two harmonize, or was that connected to the candle brand, the candle room now at all?
It was not connected at all. By that time, I had got hit by a drunk driver in 2020. I almost killed me. Wow. So I was going to Paris the next day. We were on tour, and I was getting ready to go to Paris the next day. And so I got hit by, God had told me that I was going to almost go through 6 months prior to that happening. God had told me that I was going to go through something tragic and I was going to almost die, but I wasn't going to die. This is what he told me.
Wow.
But so in my subconscious, I was just like, I'm going to die, you know, so my body was already preparing for death 6 months prior to it actually happening. Anyway, a drunk driver hydroplaned and hit me and pinned me in the car. So the engine of the car was like caved into my chest.
Goodness.
And my legs were like cramped and like pinned in the car. Wow. And my body was turned backwards. And so in that moment, I died in that accident. And in that accident, I saw the car I saw the car. My eyes I was looking at the car hit us. And I was in the passenger side. And so the car hit us, and I said, God, thank you for my life. Like I felt I couldn't scream or nothing. I was just like, God, thank you so much for everything. Yeah. And so it's like my body, I met God.
My goodness.
And he said, you gonna thank me in this moment and not ask for your life? And I'm like, yeah. Ooh. I'm like, I feel like I've done everything I wanted to do. I did some of my biggest dreams. I had sang for Beyonce. I had done all of the things I wanted to do. I had gotten Grammys at that time. I didn't know anything about none of that. I just knew I wanted to sing and be a professional singer growing up. And so I had done everything. Kim Burrell was my favorite singer. I had did a tribute to her. Like so many different things had happened in my life and that I wanted to do. And so I was just like, God, thank you for everything. And he was just like, you gonna thank me and not ask for your life? And I'm like, yeah, you've been good to me. And so he said, because you said thank you, I'm gonna put you back in your body. And so I literally had this
Brennen.
encounter. No, yeah, it was
Wow.
crazy. I had that encounter. And once I had that encounter, everything shifted. And when I said thank you, I got more. Like my life expanded. I got more. And so from that accident, I couldn't walk. I had to learn how to walk again.
Wow.
Yeah, you wouldn't even know. People
Yeah,
wouldn't even
you
know.
wouldn't.
Because I walked better than I did. I walked better now than I did before I even had an injury.
Wow.
Yeah. And so from that moment, that was life changing, right? And God just opened the door for me. And so coming from that, then I walk into a bank. I think I told y'all, I walked into a bank and I was racial profiled. I didn't know it. Mm-hmm. The teller Googled me, found me, and told me I was, and I end up suing a bank. Mm. And so in that, the Lord was just like, I want you to start a business for me. And so that's where All Is Well came from. So from that settlement, I started All Is Well.
Wow. And this is, well, would you identify it as strictly streetwear, lounge, athleisure?
It's everything. So it's like, it's really a men's brand because we don't have anything luxury for real. Like that's.
Yeah, look at you.
I mean, but these are actually my clothes. I designed this.
Okay.
So yeah, these are my clothes. Like these are my, like I really designed these. Like the stack pins. The only thing is not mine are the shoes.
He said the only thing.
The only
yeah,
thing.
well, we gonna pause since this is Style Chats. Let's get into these details real quick. We got a nice navy cardigan.
Yes.
We got
it's old school with the patches.
Okay, with the patches.
So all of this is my own personal design.
So another thing that I'm adding on there, he's a clothing designer.
Yeah, I thought I said that. No, I didn't. Okay. Well, yeah, I am. So everything I got on is my stuff because you said it was fashion, so I wanted to make sure. So this will be considered some All Is Well. So these are all sample pieces though. I got on sample clothes today, but yeah.
Well, you look amazing in the sample clothes. I would have never known.
Fly. You said be fly,
which you are, which I knew you was not going to disappoint. Coming up, I said, he told me, I don't know what to wear.
I didn't. I was like, I want to look presentable enough to be sitting alongside of you.
See, and I didn't wear nothing I showed you, but we turned out to end up matching in reverse.
Right.
So that's how I know the Lord done met us here.
Right.
Because I was like, what do I wear?
Right. But I think it will be a little bit of everything. I'm launching a new underwear and like underwear and tank top.
Come on. When's the release?
I don't know yet.
Is it a secret yet?
It's a secret.
Okay.
But yes, I'm releasing
y'all got
that.
something to look forward to.
Yeah, you got something to look forward to.
Yes.
So I'm releasing that. I think that is really, because I really like underclothes. I hate wearing clothes. Really. So I like underwear. I like wearing like lounge wear in the house. So I want to do a pajama set. I want to do, but right now we're working on like tank tops and socks and underwear.
But only for men.
I mean, women can wear them too. A lot of women, I've been posting on my story, and a lot of women say, I'm going to wear these. I'm going to buy these. So yeah, women can wear it too.
I love
especially the briefs. Like the women, you know how y'all wear.
Yeah, be a little inclusive for us ladies.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, because then you'll see. Okay, well, I should have did this from the get go because now you tapping into a. I feel like women be a lot more ready to spend that coin than men, in various aspects. Like when it comes to clothes and all this, like. We're women. We love, I
agree.
Yeah, and I feel like loungewear and undergarments, athleisure. I feel like it's kind of taking over a little bit. People are choosing comfort over.
Well, people want to show their body a little bit too.
That too.
Yada.
That too. Yeah. I'm still working on mine, but that too.
Everybody wants to show their body.
Yes, I don't know. I'm just so amazed by you every time you've shared anything. I feel like we peel back an additional layer.
Yeah.
But you are so, I'll say, multifaceted that you'll never know every single thing. Yeah. And from the outside looking in, it comes across like, so what does he do? Like, and I know you probably get asked that question a lot, but what would you say is your do you feel like you are nurturing every business or every venture that you have going on equally, or do you have like two main things that like your bread and butter? I'll say
my main thing and my bread and butter is God. Ooh. And that's my main thing. whatever room he sends me is where I go. And then he affords me, I mean, you know, I get paid for whatever that is.
Wow.
I can never really say what I do, but other than work for God, I'm always sent.
Yeah.
So, within that, I would say me advising people, mentorship, spiritual mentorship, and advisory. And so I do that. That would be, I would say, is my main thing, but I don't promote that at all. It comes.
Yep, I would have never
I don't. But it comes by like word of mouth, and so that's where I make a lot. Yeah. And so, I would say that. I would also say the Well House. I have a creative, venue space for people who want to do podcasts or shoot, and for creatives and photographers and videographers and entrepreneurs, people that want to just come and dream. That's a space where people can do that. I have that, but I wouldn't say. And the candles really do well. I wholesale those, so companies now call me to mass produce their candles.
Wow.
So, and I do all that in house. So I would say, but the main thing is me advising people in mentorship and speaking.
And that being your main thing, I definitely have to bring up, I need your advice.
Yes.
Because I feel like that plays a pivotal role in, when you have your consultant or your mentorship hat on. Because I got the opportunity to attend one of your events, and like the spaces that you create are very unique, and it's not something that you see too often. Yeah. But just to play on words there,
okay.
I need your advice.
Okay.
Or I'll say we need your advice. So I'm a stylist.
Okay.
And although you don't promote yourself as a stylist too often, but you got people looking fly on the BET Awards and things. What is some tips or advice that you would give to budding stylists or stylists who are looking to work with celebrities? Like, how do they get to those type of doors?
So I was working with Tom Ford years ago.
Wow.
When I was really young, I was doing activations, and so I would work with Louis Vuitton, and I would be in the mall all the time. So me and this lady from Tom Ford connected, and she recommended me as a stylist, and so I would get jobs from that. And so people would always recommend me. That's how I would get like contracts, working with celebrities. And then when they meet me, they like, oh my God, we love you. Like, so you just make it's just a relationship. I think, connecting and people knowing who you are, or people looking at the stuff that you've created. So I was styling back when I was like 20 years old. And so on top of branding, I would do the styling, I do the creative directing, I would bring in the photographers, I would come up with the color schemes, I would build the sets. Wow. And so people were like, who is doing all of this stuff? And I'm like, it was just me doing it. Yeah. And so then they would call me, and I would come and do it for them, and they would pay me, of course, and it would just travel. So my name just traveled throughout. And so when people would call me and say, hey, can you do this for me? And come up with a budget that because they live by budget.
That's not my ministry, but they live by budget.
So come up with what they want to spend or invest, and you work from that. But I think just build a relationship and be good, be kind, be good to people. And so, but yes, I did the BET Awards, and it was a great experience. I would love to do the Grammys and Oscars and Met Gala. So that's something that I've I want to creative direct. I don't really want to style though.
Oh, okay. I'm about to say, well, okay, we'll see your work on the carpets next year when they roll back around.
You're gonna see it one day. Like it's gonna be a whole thing. I'm gonna bring everybody in. I'm a creative direct the project. Of course, I have my hands in the styling of it. But,
of course, yeah.
So that's what I forecast for myself. But yeah, I am. So people say I'm a jack of all trades kind of guy.
You are.
But yeah, I did. And so from there, people call you and you get relationships with high-end brands. So now I'm a brand ambassador, a partner with Mind Games, the fragrance, the high-end fragrance. Byredo is one of my people, and then
all the goodies that was in my bag.
All the goodies that was in your bag.
I need to go to I Need Your Advice. His events.
Definitely go.
Y'all need to pull up.
It's so good. Summer Water. We had a lot of people. It's Tracy Moore. She's one of the chefs, a part of the event. So it's a lot. It's a Chick-fil-A.
Really?
Yeah. So you should have got a Chick-fil-A card, or somebody stole your card out of your bag.
Somebody stole my Chick-fil-A card.
Oh my God! So you got to come back again.
I'm gonna need you to.
You're gonna have to. Okay, I got one in the car.
I love, man. Yeah. I'm really really blown away. Especially I didn't work at Neiman's, but I was working at Nordstrom
Okay.
for 2.5 years. And I definitely think it exposed me to different opportunities to work with people or network with people, get stuff. Because when you work in, I'll say, these retail stores that sell luxury items or whatever, you never know the clientele that's going to come through there.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think one of the greatest lessons that I learned too, which you speak on this a lot, is how you show up.
Yeah.
It matters.
Yeah.
People will put trust in you before you even open your mouth just because they prejudge you, just because of how you look. Mm-hmm. Oh, I want her to help me. Mm-hmm. You know, they'll see somebody else that could be more qualified than me, but because I look the part, they were open to having a conversation, or they're like wanting to get into, well, what is it that she do? Let me see what she's about. How can she help me? How can I? And I don't know. So even hearing that, I just think that one thing that stylists or even future fashion entrepreneurs can take into consideration is how you show up, because we are a walking billboard. Mm-hmm. And I'm never going to put, if I see somebody, their hair is always like, I don't think I would trust your hands in my head.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because it's just like, okay, I'm trying to see how you, if you can't take care of you, I know you can't take care of me. Yeah. You know? And so I just think that is so many layers to that, and there's so many depths of just how you show up, and I think that's opened up so many doors for you, which is a blessing, and they're going to continue to open, you know, without you even having to do too much, because again, there's so many things that you do that people don't know about, because you're in a position where it's like that word of mouth has carried you so far. So I just think that's even like one of the greatest pieces of advice too, is just really building those relationships.
Better to have a good name.
And
It's better to have a good name than a good business card.
Ooh. You know what I'm about to tell you. Tell it to the people one more time.
It's better to have a good name than a good business card. Yeah. And I live by that. That's something that I live by. I try to make sure that my name is always valued in quality. Because your name is all you got. It's the first gift you get when you enter the world, is your name.
Yes.
Your name is the first gift that you receive.
See, you learned it. I like that, because you knew what was coming next.
I already knew.
You already knew what was coming next. I hope y'all catching all these gems, because you are back to back. Mr. Soft Spoken. Mr. Soft Spoken.
Back to back.
Come on with it.
I think you're bringing it out of me. You know, you're a good host.
I try. I do my little 1-2.
I'm proud of you for this. I'm proud of you for creating this platform. It's a beautiful platform. So anybody that comes on her show, just be well dressed, be well spoken, and be ready to go. Okay, walk in, come from outside or wherever you are. Come in and hit the couch.
Yes, and I hope y'all don't get sick of this green couch, because this is the official Style Chats couch, okay? So when y'all see this green couch, y'all know we mean business. But it was such a pleasure having you on the show. I'm so excited to see how the Lord continues to move in your life. You are truly an inspiration to not only me, but so many people. And I am just blessed to have you here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Well, you guys, that closes our first episode of season 4. Make sure you tune into season 4, episode 2, coming to you live in a couple of weeks. Y'all take care. That's a wrap. Woo, 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 woo.